Feeding your dog might seem like a completely straightforward, no-brainer task that requires very little thought. To most people, it is just a simple matter of grabbing a scoop, serving the food, and being done with it. However, what if I were to tell you that every single time you fill up that food bowl, you might be inadvertently making critical mistakes that could seriously affect your dog's long-term health and well-being? Today, we are going to take a deep dive into the big questions that every responsible pet owner should be asking. Is the traditional food bowl actually a bad idea for your pet? Should you be feeding your pup before or after you take them out for their daily walks? Furthermore, what specific ingredients should you absolutely avoid at all costs when you are choosing a brand of kibble? You should buckle up and prepare yourself, because after you hear this information, you will likely never look at feeding your dog the same way ever again. The first major mistake that many owners make is feeding their dog only once a day. If you are currently only providing your dog with one single meal every 24 hours, you are unintentionally overloading their entire digestive system. When you think about the biology of it, their stomach is forced to handle a massive, heavy meal all at once, which can lead to significantly slower digestion or even various types of painful tummy troubles. But the issues do not stop there. Once their stomach eventually processes that food and empties out, it is left completely and totally empty for the remainder of the day and night. This prolonged period of emptiness can lead to a problematic buildup of stomach acid and cause unnecessary physical stress for your animal. Instead of this one-meal approach, splitting their daily food requirements into two distinct portions, one in the morning and one in the evening, is a much better and more balanced approach. Providing smaller, properly spaced-out meals helps to keep their digestion running smoothly and ensures that their energy levels remain steady and consistent throughout the entire day. Trust me when I say that your pup will truly thank you for making this simple adjustment to their routine. The second mistake involves always using a standard food bowl. While feeding your dog from the same old traditional food bowl might seem like the most convenient option for your busy schedule, it is actually a significant missed opportunity for your dog's development. To understand why, we have to look back at their history. Long ago, before dogs became our beloved, couch-loving companions, they were animals that had to work incredibly hard for every meal they ate. They would spend hours of their day hunting, scavenging, and tracking down food sources in the wild. In the modern world, their meals magically appear in a bowl without any effort on their part. While this is certainly convenient for us as owners, it is not exactly mentally stimulating for them as a species. When your dog does not have to work for their food, they miss out on vital mental and physical stimulation that their instincts crave. A bored dog is often a destructive dog. They tend to find ways to entertain themselves by chewing on your furniture, barking at absolutely nothing, or simply becoming generally anxious. Fortunately, there is an easy fix for this. You can easily turn mealtime into an engaging playtime session with some fun and interactive alternatives. You might consider using puzzle toys, such as the Kong Classic or the Kong Wobbler. You simply fill these devices with kibble, and your dog is forced to work, nudge, and play to get each individual piece out. Another great option is a snuffle mat. These mats allow you to hide their food within the fabric folds, encouraging them to use their noses to sniff it out like the little detectives they naturally are. Licking mats are also fantastic. You can spread their food out so they have to lick to retrieve it, which is a repetitive action that is great for calming them down and reducing stress. If you are not interested in buying new gear, that is no problem at all, as there are plenty of DIY options you can try at home. For instance, you can try towel rolls. Just sprinkle their kibble onto a flat towel, roll it up tightly, and let them figure out how to unroll it to find their dinner. You could also try the muffin tin game. Place kibble into the holes of a muffin tin and cover each section with a tennis ball. Then, watch with pride as they figure out exactly how to move the balls to get their reward. Mixing these types of activities with the occasional bowl meal keeps your dog active, happy, and mentally sharp. You might personally hate the idea of having to work this hard for your own dinner, but for your dog, this kind of challenge is a total treat. The third mistake you need to watch out for is the common habit of overfeeding. Overfeeding your dog might seem relatively harmless at first, especially when they are looking at you with those big hungry eyes. But over time, it can lead to incredibly serious health issues like obesity. We have to face the reality that a dog carrying around extra weight isn't just moving slower. They are also at a much higher risk for developing painful joint problems, heart disease, and even life-threatening diabetes. To avoid this dangerous path, it is absolutely crucial that you measure your dog's daily food intake properly and accurately. The feeding guidelines printed on the back of the kibble bag are a great place to start, but there is something else you must keep in mind. Treats count toward the total too. If you are handing out training treats or snacks throughout the day, you must adjust your dog's main meal portions accordingly to compensate. For example, if you have given them several treats during a training session, you should subtract that caloric amount from their regular morning or evening meals. Every little bite adds up quickly, and ignoring these extra calories could mean your pup is putting on weight they don't need. A dog maintained at their ideal weight doesn't just live a longer life, they live a significantly healthier and happier life. Do not brush off this mistake as something minor. Now, I want to ask you a very important question. Do you feed your dog before or after their walks? You might think the timing is no big deal, but you should give this some very serious thought because mistake number 4 is feeding before walks. This is a major error, and the consequences can be devastatingly serious. When a dog eats a meal, their body naturally directs significant amount of blood flow toward the stomach to assist with the complex process of digestion. If you force them to walk, run, or engage in physical activity right after they have eaten, it interrupts this vital biological process and can lead to major digestive complications. The absolute worst-case scenario is a condition called gastric dilation volvulus, which is more commonly known as canine bloat. This life-threatening condition happens when a dog's stomach fills up with gas and then physically twists inside their body. It is often triggered by a dog eating their food too quickly, consuming a very large meal, or engaging in intense exercise immediately after eating. Believe me when I tell you that bloat's no joke. The symptoms include visible pain, obvious bloating of the abdomen, and in severe cases, it requires an emergency visit to the vet and often immediate surgery to save the dog's life. While large and deep-chested breeds are statistically more prone to this condition, no dog is completely immune to the risk. Fortunately, the solution is very simple. Always feed your dogs after their walks, not before. Ideally, you should wait about 30 minutes after a walk has concluded before you offer them food, whether it is in the morning or the evening. If your schedule is such that you absolutely must feed them before exercise, you must ensure there is at least a 1 to 2 hour gap of rest before any physical activity begins. This small, simple change in your dog's daily routine can prevent life-threatening problems, improve their overall digestion, and help them avoid uncomfortable side effects like vomiting or stomach pain. Your pup will feel much better, stay healthier, and you will have the peace of mind that comes with knowing you are taking the best possible care of them. The fifth mistake is not paying close enough attention to the specific ingredients in your dog's food. Choosing the right food for your canine companion isn't just about recognizable brand names or expensive price tags. You need to be a diligent label reader. Not all dog foods are created equal, and even if a brand seems trustworthy or has great marketing, some kibbles are far from ideal for your pup's nutritional needs. Here is the deal. You need to take a very close look at the label. To help you navigate this, here are a few key things you should always watch for. First and foremost, make sure that the very first ingredient listed is a high-quality meat. This ensures that the food is rich in the animal protein that is vital for your dog's health. However, not just any meat will do. You should strictly avoid anything that is vaguely labeled as meat byproducts or meat meal, as these terms often hide low-quality parts like feathers, hide, or beaks. Instead, you should look for specific, clear labels like chicken, beef, or turkey. Next, you need to watch out for an excess of starches and carbohydrates. These are often used as cheap fillers that don't actually bring much nutritional value to the table. If the food does contain grains, you should aim for something like brown rice, which is significantly more nutritious than corn or wheat. A truly high-quality dog food should also include small, beneficial amounts of fruits and vegetables. Ingredients like carrots, blueberries, or sweet potatoes are fantastic additions that provide essential vitamins and minerals. Finally, let's talk about preservatives. You should steer clear of synthetic chemicals like BHT, BHA, or ethoxyquin, which can be harmful to your dog's long-term health. Instead, look for natural preservation options like vitamin E or rosemary oil. I know that processing all of this information can feel a little overwhelming at first, but the good news is that you really only have to figure this out once. Once you have identified the best, most nutritious food for your specific dog, you won't need to stress about it again for a long time. However, you shouldn't get too comfortable just yet, because you also need to keep an eye out for mistake number 6, which is not adjusting your dog's food based on their current age. Did you know that your dog's nutritional requirements should change significantly as they move through different stages of life? Not all kibbles are formulated the same way, and providing the wrong kind of food for their age can negatively impact your pup's health. For puppies, you absolutely must use a formula that is designed specifically for their rapid growth stage. Puppy food contains much higher levels of protein, fat, and minerals like phosphorus to support their developing bones and muscles. You should stick with this specialized puppy food until your dog reaches about 80% of their adult size, which typically happens around their first birthday. On the opposite end of the spectrum, if your dog is starting to enter their golden years, it is time to switch them over to a senior dog food. This type of kibble is formulated to be much easier to digest, is often lower in calories to help prevent age-related weight gain, and is tailored to their changing metabolic needs. It is all about matching their daily nutrition to their specific life stage to keep them as healthy and happy as possible for as long as possible. For the final mistake, I want to get you thinking about the habit many of us have developed of always and exclusively feeding our dogs dry kibble. Mistake number 7 is not considering the benefits of homemade meals. Have you ever truly thought about preparing homemade meals for your dog? A lot of people have been led to believe that processed kibble is the only way to go, but that is not entirely true. If we look back in time, before commercial pet food became a massive global industry, dogs were primarily fed meat, bones, and natural leftovers. Today, more and more dedicated pet owners are returning to homemade diets because they want to provide something fresher, more natural, and completely free of artificial preservatives for their furry friends. Homemade meals can offer a wide range of benefits if they are done correctly. By preparing the food yourself, you get to have total control over the quality of every single ingredient. You can skip the unnecessary fillers and the questionable byproducts, and you can tailor the entire diet to meet your dog's very specific health needs or allergies. However, let's be very clear. This does not mean simply tossing them random scraps from your own dinner plate. A balanced diet is the absolute key to success. Your pup requires high-quality proteins like meat or fish, a controlled amount of healthy carbohydrates like rice or sweet potatoes, and essential healthy fats. You can also incorporate those beneficial fruits and vegetables we mentioned earlier, like carrots or blueberries, which are packed with natural vitamins. Thankfully, in this day and age, it is easier than ever to get a homemade diet right. There are numerous reputable online calculators and resources that can help you figure out your dog's exact nutritional requirements based on their size, age, and activity level. These tools will break down the correct proportions and suggest the best ingredients for your specific pup. Homemade food does not have to be overly complicated or prohibitively expensive. It just needs to be well thought out and balanced. You can even choose to mix homemade components with a high-quality kibble to get the best of both worlds. The ultimate goal is to provide a fresh, balanced, and varied diet that keeps your dog in peak condition. So there you have it, the 7 common mistakes you might be making when it comes to feeding your dog. By avoiding these pitfalls, you are setting your pet up for a much better quality of life. If this information has changed the way you look at your dog's daily meals, please consider subscribing to our channel and giving this video a like. We are dedicated to uncovering the essential care and history that helps our pets thrive. Let's work together to nourish their future. Our next deep dive into the secrets of pet wellness will be opening up very soon.